King of the Hill is back. Like, it's officially back. Hulu has officially announced, like, it's actually on their Instagram. I had to, like, triple check. King of the Hill is out. All the rumors were true. Pretty much everything has been confirmed, and I am super excited. So actually taking a look at the promo art that Hulu has provided us with, that they posted on their Instagram, obviously looking at them immediately, they have aged, and I want to get into it in a minute, like what I kind of expected whenever the rumors for the reboot came, but as we can see, they haven't aged as much as I thought they were going to age, which is honestly, after I've given it some thought, it's probably a good thing that they're not aging up as much as I was expecting. I'll get into what I was expecting in a little bit, but looking at the actual art, Hank, I think, has changed the least from what we can see. The major thing with him is he's got a little bit more wrinkles. His hair has like started to gray just a little bit, and he's wearing a different shirt, basically. I mean, his shoes look a little different too, but for the most part, like, he's got a nice little shirt, and he's aged up a little bit. And I think the biggest, like, physical difference that we can really see, obviously, is Boomhauer. The tanning has definitely gotten to him. You can just see he's got a lot of lines in him. He's got a little bit of a recession, like, on his temples, just a little bit. And of course, he's holding an iPad just to make sure everybody knows. That's one thing that I kind of don't like about the promo is they let you know this is the modern day King of the Hill, and you best bet your butt you can look at it, the iPad. And then of course, if you take a look at Dale, he looks pretty much exactly the same. Like, you can't even really see any wrinkles on his face. But he has a VR headset on and then a vape. So I'm curious what they're going to be doing with that. I don't even know what kind of VR headset that would be because he doesn't have any controls or anything. So I'm assuming it's kind of like some alternate AR-like stuff, like where he just altered reality. And then, of course, you got Bill, who does look a little more plump. He is a bit more round. And he's obviously getting Megalo Eats from somebody that is delivering food to him. And if you look in the background, they've got the 5G tower. I'm assuming this is going to be a plot point. I'm assuming Dale's probably going to have some conspiracies or try to blow it up or something. And then the drone that's holding the Alamo beer. Those are like the main things that pop out. I would actually like to note as well, I love how they've kind of kept the art style so similar. And it looks so good because I think one of the major things that like King of the Hill, like that encompasses King of the Hill's art style is the fact that it's kind of like edgy, like not edgy, but the roundedness of all the lines. Like if you look close to the lines, they are not straight. Like if you look at something like Family Guy or Futurama or a lot of the major like adult cartoons, their lines are very straight, very clean lines, but King of the Hill still keeps the kind of like the not as neat lines like from Beavis and Butthead. I think that's just one thing that Mike Judge just really likes. Yeah, that's kind of what got released today was this promo, and it just confirms it's definitely going to be coming out in the summer. And of course, there were the storyboard leaks. There was the leak that Bobby is a 21-year-old chef. This was all like stuff in the past. This wasn't just released today, but we kind of can paint a clearer picture now. It's probably been about 8 to 10 years. If he's 21 or 20, like what they expect Bobby to be, we can guess it's been about 8 years. 8 to 9, which would kind of make sense when you look at, especially Hank. He hasn't aged, or Bill. Neither of them look too different. And 8 years, once you're in your 40s, you don't change that much. Aesthetically, of course, you'll start to age, you'll start to wither, but they look about the same. So I want to get into the part where I speculated the show was going to go and how they have exceeded my expectations and some of my worries that I've definitely got some worries with the show. So we'll start with the worries because we'll get the negatives out of the way. But if you have watched Futurama, like the new Hulu reboot, I didn't even watch the newest season. They have a second of the reboot season, but I've only watched the first one. And the first one, it harped on the fact that, like, look at us now, we're in 2025. And don't get me wrong, I know that a lot of cartoons, and especially Futurama and King of the Hill, they both play a huge role on what's happening in today's society and like the parallels. Like all Futurama was, oh, this is the year 3000. Look at how so close it is to the year 2000, but it's also the future. But in the 2025 or 2021, 2022, whenever it came out, the new remake of it, it was just like, oh, look, you know what this is. Cool. Whereas the old stuff, like, it had more depth to it. And I feel like that's a lot of modern TV shows is there's just like a lot of it's like, haha, me see that before, me know what that is, me laugh now. Because there was like a whole episode dedicated to watching Hulu and like getting addicted to it. They could have done so much with that story, but they kind of just left it bare bones, which I didn't really enjoy that much. They had I think they had an episode dedicated to COVID. There was just a lot of episodes that really just harped on the fact that, oh, look, we're cool, we're up to date with modern events, and they kind of just left it baseline like that. And looking at the teaser, of course, this is just a teaser to let people know what's going to be in store. I don't think Dale's going to be glued to a VR headset the whole time, and I don't think Bill's going to be eating Megalo Eats every single episode. They're probably going to have episodes dedicated to each of these things, and it's probably going to keep the King of the Hill format. I'm hoping so at least, but that is a main concern of mine, that they're going to kind of play off the fact that, oh, look at us, we're a reboot. And if they focus too much on a reboot, like the fact that it's a reboot, instead of paying more attention to the fact like of the story of the characters and kind of dig into the roots of what made King of the Hill so special, that's my main concern. But looking at the art, looking at what we've seen so far, the storyboards that got leaked, I have high hopes for this. Like, most of them look exactly the same as they used to, just a little bit more ragged, which is honestly genius. I didn't really think of that whenever like I had thought of a reboot coming out, and it makes so much sense. And that tells me they put at least a decent amount of thought into it, because if they would have just retconned it and pushed it forward, I don't think a lot of people would have been invested. And if they push too far forward, you risk kind of losing what made King of the Hill. And especially if you had like Bobby as a main character or anything like that, I think there's a chance that you lose the essence of it. And I think that the format of King of the Hill works perfectly for a reboot and bringing up all the new topics and all the new things in society, like social media. That wasn't really a thing. They touched on it in the original King of the Hill. They had like MySpace and stuff like that. But now that social media is pretty much in every human being's life, it isn't. Back then it was kind of just a hobby some people did. Everybody's on social media every single day. So seeing Hank have to kind of come to terms with that's going to be an awesome thing. Being able to see him hate Megalomart now that they've got drones. They're probably going to make Megalomart more of like the Amazon of today's society, I would imagine. And seeing how everybody just reacts to everything, and seeing Hank kind of come to terms with everything, because that's kind of how the original stories would go. Like every episode, it'd be Hank is kind of shown something that makes him uncomfortable in some way, shape, or form, just something that doesn't completely align with his values and his views. And by the end of the episode, he doesn't change his mindset, and that's one thing that I really do respect King of the Hill on, is they do still treat him like a human. Not many people can within a 30-minute episode can go from like having really strong values and really strong opinions to completely flipping. So the end of the episodes, he typically just has a better understanding and is kind of just more aligned with them, but doesn't fully align with them. I think that's a really good way of doing it. But all in all, the promo looks awesome. I am so excited to watch it. Me and my brother are going to have a watch party. My girlfriend, me and her, we're already watching through King of the Hill right now, where she's never seen it before. And I didn't even have the reboot on my mind. I was just telling her, I was like, yo, we just finished watching another show. We watched Attack on Titan together, and we really loved that. So we decided to boot up King of the Hill, and I wasn't expecting her to like it. She's never seen it before, and I always expected the reason I liked King of the Hill so much is because it's so nostalgic to my childhood. I literally grew up watching it. So I was not expecting her to like it, but she loves it, and we watch it. We try to watch an episode every night. We're currently on season 5. We just finished the episode where Hank becomes a pimp, and that episode is so good. It's got Snoop Dogg in it. Really good episode, and I didn't respect that episode as much. I haven't seen King of the Hill front to back in years, and now that I'm an adult, that episode is so good. It's probably in my top 10 now, so I've been enjoying it, and I'm so excited for this the new series. It's a reboot. I really, really hope it's good because then we could get more and more seasons and I'll have one of my favorite shows back. But anyways, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for listening to me ramble. Thanks for listening to me talk about one of my favorite shows. And if you enjoyed it and made it this far, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed. And I am out of here.